Let's not do this. Let's not extend it. So the POC is there, and then you see that there's a tiny little node there as well. Like you see this major POCs here. So if they did bring this back up, but they didn't even have the power to bring it back up here. So they failed multiple times, right? Off of this little, if you go off this little supply right here, and they didn't even get it that far, right? So it was obviously a trend day, but it was an open reverse rejection type of auction, right? And then when you think about the opening and closing here, let's just go in 15 minutes so we can actually see a day or two. Where do we open compared to the previous day?
Out of the range.
Yeah, we open out of the range, right? If this is our previous day high, right? If this is our previous day high, and you open above it, what is that level? I said you cannot crack. You should not be exploring at all.
Prior day high. If you break
So
down, you're going to go down probably to the bottom.
yeah, most likely you're going to go to the bottom, right? And the idea is if you break this down, you enter into the, this value area was not there, I would say, but most likely you're going to test value area high. And they came here rather quickly, right? They tested it, they tried to bounce, they failed. But once they got, what are you targeting?
The other end. Either the POC first, and then
Yeah, POC
opposite side.
first, and they came here.
80% rule.
And if the POC doesn't give you that bounce, what do you think is happening?
Bearish. It's going
It
to
won't
go
go
low.
low. Just think
It's gonna
logically.
break.
If the POC where the fair price is and they're slicing through it,
It's
what
it's
are they
going
telling you about the fair price?
it's going lower.
It's not
I mean,
accepted.
It's
It's
the
too high.
price there. It's too high, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like me selling to you something, right? Hey, who wants to buy an iPhone 15 for $5,000? How many people are gonna lift their hand?
No.
If that price was previously fair and there was demand for it, and now I offer, let's say, $200, well, a lot of buyers would probably step in because now they're finding value at that price. And if the fair price here was 72 and now they're like, oh, we don't have a bounce there, that should ring a bell in your head like, oh, something is wrong. Because POC means equilibrium, right? And if that's the equilibrium, you should get some reaction there. When you think about this, right? If this was our POC right here, did we get a first reaction here?
Not initially, no.
No, man, there was not initially. I would say you did not.
You
went
on
there,
that first
you
candle,
reclaimed it.
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but not much. And then they
No.
dipped to lower. They put in a lower low. They reclaimed, then they went up, right? But you did not get, I mean, you still put in lower highs, right? Between this one and this one. It's telling you it's weak.
That's why I
But
kept
from this
all-
peak here, you put in what?
a new low.
You put in a new low. So this is, screaming, hey, something is wrong here, right? So those are the little things when you're really, really focused on trading and you want to have some high probable setups. You're playing that in your head, right? You're putting lower highs, you're coming to a POC, but you're not getting that bounce. Like what's going on? If this here, right? If this demand here cleaned up, if that from here we cleaned up this, then it's a whole different story. If they were able to take this demand, I'm sorry, supply from here, that would have been a whole different story. Most likely they would have tested the highs of the day in that case.
Yeah, that would have been break of character.
Yep. But
It almost looked like that when you were talking about going long down there with that first, when we hit that major POC, yeah.
Yeah. This was a pretty good one. I shouldn't have gone and added here. But I got stopped, but I ended the day with almost $720, so can't complain. Okay, so now if you look at this profile, I mean, a lot of supply is sitting there, it's sitting at that 71 level. We are at the first SIG right now, and I don't know if we lost it here in ETH, but we'll check. And then if you look at market profile, it's also telling you quite a bit, actually. It was a fairly eventful day on market profile. Does anyone want to take a stab, maybe analyzing? I'll make it a little bit bigger, promise. All right, let's start with the top, right? So your IB, what does your IB say? Pretty wide or not?
No.
I think it looks wide.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty wide. I would say
20
it's right
points.
in average, 21 points. Usually it's what, 28? So it's not bad, right? If it was a little tighter, we might have gotten a bigger move. So this is your IB. The black line is your IB. You open and then you see in which period you cracked it, right? And you see here in the D period, you went below, right? You cracked it and then you developed the value. The fair price was accepted where?
Much lower. 70.
Right below the
Mm,
IB.
Yeah.
Right, so the price is being accepted after the extension, right? Usually that's a bear sign. All right, so now when you think about it, on the bottom, what do you have? You have two sets of single periods. You have L, and then you have M, right? Period here as well. So if you go on the candles, let's turn these guys on. I'm just gonna go maybe 15 minutes here.
so L and M basically the last hour. Is that right?
That's correct. M is the last hour. So if you look here, right, L is just gonna be here, I believe. So L is your period from this candle right here, 3 o'clock is, in this case, is the L, okay? But you see, you have single periods, a single TPOs here, which is indicating there's a lot of selling in this area, right? So now, if you're a bull, what's the level you want to reclaim?
Is it above the L period, the single prints?
Yeah, we want to go above the higher level of single prints. Reclaiming this doesn't mean much until you can absorb all these sellers, right? So when you're a buyer and want to reclaim single prints, you look at the top side, right? If it was the other way around, it would be flipped, right? So now these are your single prints here, and you want to be, I would say, somewhat aware of these for tomorrow. I'll be live in the morning, so hopefully we can
Ooh.
come this out early. So let's see. So there's, 3.5 points there, which let's see how they react. And then you had a spike, late spike tomorrow. So what would you pay attention to tomorrow? Like what should we pay attention to tomorrow?
If we can reclaim that spike.
Okay.
You gotta hold there, not break that.
Okay, give me the 3 scenarios for spike. Man, you guys went
Spike
quiet.
goes.
Come to you come to the bottom and then spike to the top. Come to the bottom, the green.
I need the 3 scenarios, guys.
You mean like for when we spike outside of the value area of the developing value area of the current day?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So then like the next day you look for like if we like in today's case what we do with previous day value area low if we reject it or if we reclaim it.
From the perspective of managing a patient with
Okay, what else?
if we drip on. So yeah.
I'm not sure they're talking to us or.
I can put them on ketamine tonight and then see
No.
No.
Maybe also when you come back down to it to see if they defend that level,
Okay.
validate it.
I posted this in the chat and I also wrote that you guys should, try to understand it, right? If we open above the spike and don't lose it, is that bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
So here, if we open above the spike, right? I mean, the M period, if you're not able to, let's say, defend it in the M period here, that's what you're looking for. If you're a bullish scenario spike, if you spiked up and you open above it, that means price is being accepted and we're going to go higher. If you got a bullish spike at the end, right? Movement from value movement from equilibrium outside of the value. That's what you're looking for. That's called a spike in the last period, right? 330 to 4. If that happens 330 to 4, then you're interested, right? See if you open within, that's still bullish, right? As long as you don't lose the bottom on that spike. So if you guys remember, at that time, we had the 45.68, right? So this was the bottom spike. This was the top of our base. Actually, the base was a little higher here on this one. Just TradingView has a really weird alphabet on TPOs. If you are bullish and you open below the spike, that would be bearish. So now all you have to do is flip that. If we had a spike down, right, and we open above it, what is it?
Bullish.
Bullish.
Okay, that means the sellers are not interested in selling lower prices, right?
Yes.
And if you open within and you don't break the top spike, that's still bearish, right? Unless
Yeah.
you're able to absorb this guy right here on this spike. Unless you're able to take this guy in, that's great. Would I look for opportunity to go long here between this and this? No, hell no.
No.
Somebody else do that because that's too close for comfort, right?
Let it let it break, reject, and then, I mean, yeah, retest.
I didn't understand the spike. Could you explain it again, please? I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Thank you.
Did you read the message I posted?
I think that I'm looking for it. I didn't see it. Was that today?
No, I posted this a while back, but I'll
Oh,
explain
okay.
again.
Thank you.
So,
It's in Shorty's corner.
yeah, I posted it there as well.
Okay.
So if you have a spike, right? Let's say we have a bullish spike. Let me use. If you have a bullish spike, and let's assume that this is, last period here.
330 to 4.
Yeah, let's say this is the last period and we're moving outside of the value, right? This is the spike here. So the spike started here and it went to the top. Usually you want to look for where the single prints start on the spike, right? So if here, they had another box here that was a TPO. I'm going to do my best to draw TPOs with these boxes. Now let's say this was TPO right here. Okay. So if these were TPOs and this is the last period, right? This is your M or N, whatever comes on your charting platform. If this is the last period, right? This would be the bottom of the spike on the bullish, and this would be the top. So I just marked those, right? You would have this, and you would have that. If you're on a bullish spike, like we are talking about here, if you open within spike, but don't break the base, still bullish neutral. Maybe 2Ls. This is, confidence of this versus confidence of opening here. Which one is better?
A higher one.
Yeah, if you can open above the spike, you're not interested in these prices. You're going fly away.
Yeah.
If you open within, your confidence is somewhat, because market is all about confidence and auction, right? And then if you open on the bullish trend up here, right? Okay, does that make sense now? So this should be day one, right? This right here is day one. And if you open, this is your spike, right? Is anyone confused still on this?
No. Sorry.
This is our base. Okay, so now opening here, this is your highest confidence. Here, you're still bullish as long as you don't crack the base. And now, do I need to draw the bearish side? Because it would just, if I could select all these and flip it, I would. it would just be flipped.
Mm-hmm.
So can everybody do that, or you guys need me to draw it out?
No, I get it.
Okay, so let me take a screenshot of this.
On the reverse, you just can't crack the base on the top base.
Yeah, for otherwise the bulls would be in control.
Correct.
Poor AMD, always use it for drawing.
Mhm.
Okay, so now when you think about, the bigger picture, right? They went all the way, I guess, from the VPOC and they drove the price down all the way to the first sig right now. If you look at the volume here, is there any 30 minutes? Okay, let me give you guys a simple, if you're new. What is the effort and result? What does that mean?
The candle has to match. The volume has to match the
Give
candle.
me an example outside of trading.
Like the harder you throw a ball, the farther it should go.
Okay, so it's almost, yeah. If you swing hard on the golf ball and the golf ball lands in front of your toes, does that effort equal the result?
No.
No.
You should quit.
Yeah, if you, yeah, I shouldn't. That's what I
Well,
do.
if you swing hard, no.
It's pretty much like, the law of physics, I would say, right? Every action has what? Equal
Equal opposite
Motion or
reaction.
reaction.
Equal
opposite
reaction.
reaction. So now when I'm just trying to teach you guys a little bit about volume on the bottom. This is great, right? We have TPOs, we have SVP, volume profile. But now you're looking to see, is there any reactions that we're getting that are not equaling the result? And there is one here. Does anyone see it?
It's the last one.
The last one, right?
Yeah.
Why is this one?
Because it looks like they just bought it back up. The amount
It's
of
an
volume.
anomaly.
No.
The volume is really high.
Because I would say the effort does not equal the result. Would you guys agree?
Should have been twice
Absolutely.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see what it
that's
should have been.
now when you look at that and when you practice this on trading, right? They give you opportunities to pay attention to, right? If you look here, right, they came in, I would say this volume picked up and then it looks like some absorption here. You have the highest volume and look, they bounced it, they cracked and they proceeded. But this volume doesn't mean it hasn't checked out yet. This is still correct here. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Then if you look to the left, I mean, you can just ballpark it, right? And if you look at, in my case, orange bars and yours maybe green, do they follow? Is there more lifting on volume on the red candles or green candles?
More on the red.
Red ones.
Yeah,
Or
I would
bold
say
black.
more red. I mean, you look at this, we're above the
The
average.
black
This one
candles,
here
yeah.
above the average. And then you look at, for instance, just naked price action. I'm talking that, you can hide all these indicators, everything, right? You hide this and you just look at the price action. It's like, okay, well, I see, this one here would have been a really nice short if you're paying attention to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The volume is just, at that time, it wasn't great, right? At 10:15. But then
Mhm.
look how well they hit their intentions, right? They cracked this, and then once they cracked this low, they came back for a retest nicely and went lower. So it's almost like when you guys think about, we've talked about this a lot, and I'm just giving you a few scenarios. What is this?
Consolidation.
Okay, and then you have markdown, right? Somebody said, "Hey, we got to sell off at on," and you have too much inventory.
Yeah.
And then you have another one here, and what they say,
Again. Yeah.
and then these people try to get in, and they're like, "No, man, we have a lot more," and they kept selling and selling and selling. All right, and now when you look at this one, I would say this one right here is your largest consolidation. So what would you expect from the largest consolidation?
More volume.
Bigger drop.
So
Bigger move.
A larger drop.
You expect a larger effort and result.
Yeah.
If the effort took so long, what do we expect on the result?
result.
And believe it or not, there is theories that if you crack this, you take this 12.75 and you tack 12.75 to the bottom, that usually it should match.
Mm,
Pretty
And
damn
what do you
close.
guys think?
yeah, pretty close.
Does the effort equal result?
Yep.
Pretty good, right? And that you could also do this on this scenario, right? I mean, I'm not saying this is a golden rule, but it's just a tip that you can play with to figure that out.
Sure.
So hopefully you guys can at least practice on candles, look at the consolidations. And now when you think about it, where should the POC be? Should not even be your question. Like you guys should be able to spot that naturally. Oh my God, yeah, I see where the POC should be, right? And if
Right.
it's not, then something's
69.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be
72,
Right in the
72.
middle.
should be sitting right here in the middle of that box, and it's there.
Sure.
I kept saying
Mhm.
72 on ES. That was
Yeah.
what we needed to get above and hold.
Well, it's a big level, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're bullish. I mean, you guys think about it. When you're making these lower highs, lower lows, and you're not able to reclaim them and challenge these highs, it's fairly
Going down.
easy to maybe spot a little trend
Yeah.
there, right? And then as soon as you lost the previous day high, I would say it should have been clicking that something's off. And those are the rules that you need to establish, right? When you're trading, we broke the previous day high. Just believe it or not, 20, 30 years back, there were 4 pieces of information. If you read Markets and Profile, or if you read any books, they had the slips where they would write the OHLC and the volume, and was it up or down, right? And then they would play off of that for the next day.
Please, what's the HLC again, Shorty?
Open, high, low, close.
Open,
Gotcha.
high, low, close. That's
Gotcha.
the only 4 pieces of information you had back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And volume.
Now you
Okay.
guys have footprints. Now you guys have market profiles. Now you
Yeah.
have volume
Volume
profile.
profile. Yeah.
Yeah, your
You
value.
So
have
many
system.
choices.
Yeah, you have a lot, right? But that's what was given before. And yet, of course, we're humans and we tend to complicate shit. So now we overcomplicate it. But those 4 are fairly important, right? If your high was there and you went opened above it, and right, I'm telling you, it's in the PowerPoint. I covered this, I would say, pretty well in those 4 opening value areas. If you're opening above and you lose it, it's a bear signal. It's a very, very bear signal. You have nothing to really challenge at that point.
Yeah.
Because if you're so bullish, why would you auction below previous day high?
No, you wouldn't.
Your confidence is, going away. And market runs on confidence, right? I mean, obviously we are almost at all-time highs. And has anyone, I mean, I'm just being personal here a little bit. Has anyone heard any good news in past 12 months? Give me some good news you guys heard. Seriously, just give me something.
I want good news. I haven't
I
heard
really
anything.
haven't, man.
And I'm talking broader life, whatever. I'm not personal, like, oh, my son graduated from Harvard. That's individual.
No,
I'm talking
there's
about
been
news
nothing
that are
but shooting.
circulating the market.
There's no good news.
Nothing but shooting and robbing and wars and
Another
inflation.
virus, banks. We could go on about the bad news.
Well, I'm being honest. If there's good news, I'd love. My wife's always like, "Why are you pessimistic?" I'm like, "Well, maybe people that don't read the market and news, maybe they're not as bad."
Virus, this.
The
and
only
that.
thing would cause good news is the AI hype. Like they have a new, some type of technology,
Yeah, and the only way I look at technologies, right, is when I had a kidney stone in 2020. Why was my bill $22,000 for a kidney stone? Did the technology not get any better to scan the
Yeah,
human body?
that's scam, man.
I thought
Even the
efficiency
AI,
would
they
lead
make
to lower
bad news.
costs, right? So I like the hype, but honestly, like, I talked to some people actually today briefly, and I just asked, what do you think about AI? He's like, same shit I thought about NFT. And this is, I'm telling you, this is from a C level. And they're like, I mean, is there, like they call it RPAs in IT world? Yeah, there's RPAs and robotics processing automation. Yeah, there's some of that. But I think people when they hear AI, they're thinking fucking robots. They're thinking,
Yeah.
walking by us doing stuff. Do you really think we're gonna see that in our day and age? I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not.
And it's probably gonna require a lot more. I would say.
Trial and error.
Well, hopefully not trial and error, because once those guys learn, the error becomes
Yeah.
pretty steep, I would say. But a lot more governance, and I don't know if we are ready for it as a country. I'm talking about infrastructure. Are we ready to do that? So,
Yeah.
anyways, but that's about that. But there's a lot of bad news circulating in the market, right? And we are almost at all-time highs. So, when you think about tulips in the stock market, you can speculate all you want on the stock market, but when the majority moves the market, it's going to move it. And when you think about our movement so far, just go on a weekly, right? Is this a candle you want to see at the top on the weekly so far?
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Yeah, you do not want to see. Let me just hide a bunch of lines here, right? When you look at it, we're coming up to the previous week low. And when you think about daily, for instance, right? What is that when we're framing up like as we are doing it right now? A lot of people got bearish today. All I said is that we are in a bracketed market. You're still circulating and you're still inside the range here. You haven't broken it, right? So a lot of people are bearish all of a sudden, but there's no reason to be bearish. Just the way they dropped it here, you don't think they can push this tomorrow morning?
Sure.
You sure can.
Yeah, easy peasy for them because we are in a bracket, guys, and we can stay here till the end of the year. They can trade here, limited risk, limited reward. If that's their intention, then people that are shorting here, market makers just collecting the premium, and then they go up, down, and then close. Maybe they give us a spike out of this like range right here that you guys see from here to here. They give you a test, people bite, then they do the opposite, right? Or maybe it's a true breakout, and that needs to be confirmed with volume. And I would
Yeah.
say if you look at volume so far, right, you had some decent volume here, right? Not as much selling volume, I would say. Even this one here, it's above average selling, but you can't count really these days as any reference, in my opinion, right? Anything 10 days within, I would say, of Thanksgiving, it's kind of trouble. Like this high broken here that we set 44.32, it just doesn't make sense. Okay. On the bigger picture now, I mean, let's say when you draw this, I wouldn't necessarily go to the end. I would just go to the first high that we set here. And you see here we have, 43.83 looks pretty prominent, for a revisit, right? And below this, where we are right now, if we're able to crack, let's say, this level tonight, the 52 level where we have the single prints, why is this level here highlighted? It's not 2 sig, right? There's a reason for it. 2 sig is part of a confluence. The purple here, what I'm showing you guys is what? It's a weekly profile, right? So this is the week starting, when is it? Monday, the 27th.
Mhm.
So after Thanksgiving, look at the bottom. This would be your
Yeah.
access low, right?
Yeah, the single
So,
print.
so this is people telling you, think about it. This is a weekly profile, and this is other time frame buyers. They stepped in the price, and then I would say they pushed the price pretty nicely from this level.
Yeah.
That price made higher highs. And now you're coming back here, and on 30 minutes, we just showed, right, that there was a little bit of an anomaly on the volume there. Because if you look at it, right, this was probably the highest volume was here for the day, right? And that's a big red candle on volume, and it has a little bit of lower wick. Seems like the sellers got absorbed here. So tomorrow, there's one of the two things that they can do, right? They can definitely crack below this right here. I would expect 45.44 to play a role. If they lose this 45.44, then things change. Things change rather quickly, because then most likely we're going to be interested to see where is this area that we're looking at, and it's going to be in this space here. And you can find this multiple ways, right? If you turn this VRVP, you see that they're happiest trading right here.
Mm.
Then if you lose this 44, high chance you're going to go to this, I would say 25 area right here. So you're looking somewhere let's say somewhere around here. Let's just highlight it so you guys have it.
Yeah, I got August PLC there, 45.25.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at any of those months right now as we're closing. Just a rule of thumb. I wouldn't pay
Okay.
much attention to it right now. They care about their bonuses more than anything right now.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you're watching this little gap here. If they lose this, chance they're gonna retest this, and you guys know that everyone on Twitter will call this as an SR flip, the bottom line at 36.75. They will have their lines, and believe it or not, they will have orders sitting there to buy. And even if they catch, 44, that's probably plenty for most of them, right? And then this would be a good rejection, because if this was support, you lose it, you come back. Well, what was once support now becomes resistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the area to watch out for. How do we behave here? If we are to lose this level tomorrow and quickly reclaim it, what does it tell you?
They've accepted
buy.
it to go higher.
Yeah, somebody came here with the price. You brought the price of something so low and they loved it. They thought it was a really good discount and they bought all of your inventory.
So we may go all the way to the top again.
You would be targeting, first I would say here, the POC, which is about 66 3/4. And in between, right, you can't ignore that there's some volume nodes, some single prints that we identified, like this one right here, this one right here. But if you see the reclaim here, I would get out of the way with shorts. Right, because then it's telling you most likely it's gonna, traverse the whole area, go from the bottom and go to the first sig to the top, right? And that would be somewhere here, 76-ish. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Hey, Shorty, can you look at Google today? They had some pretty big news out.
Yeah, I can definitely take a look at them. But does everybody understand what the plan is, at least so far, what we covered? This is very important. The 44 is super important. I wouldn't be shocked if they test this liquidity. Tomorrow, I would watch for, hey, let us push up a little bit. Let's see if they come in to any of these high volume nodes that they have, right? There's a node here. If they come in here and they're not able to get over it, let's say they peak above and fail, that would be a good short. And they're probably going to drive it all the way to 44.
I can't wait.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. I think there's some good setups here for tomorrow. And I personally think that they're going to hold it. I don't see them breaking December, but maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because if they do crack it and they surprise people, man, it's just, it's going to be a little brutal on your 401ks, honestly, because it could get ugly really, really quick, because all the structure that we have below is thin air. There's not much there.
There's no air. It's space.
Yep.
The black hole.
Pretty much, yeah. So I will definitely watch that, right? And then, if my favorite setup for tomorrow would be come to 44, either first touch, because here they already had a touch, right? So they might, and you see how they swept this low here at 53. They came in, right? They swept it. Now, they can sweep this 44. If they lose a regain, that's what I'm looking for. If I could catch this tomorrow, that's the play I'm catching. I'll drive this to the POC, the CPOC. So that's, I would say that's my main goal tomorrow, is see how do they behave here tomorrow. And they're holding these single prints here. I don't know if you guys are on ETH yet. Well, look. They're here. They're holding it. They held it at 810. They gave them test. And believe it or not, somebody's long there. Okay. And then, of course, bear sell. I said, crack this. Most likely you're going to go here. If you lose this, this would be the level. Ideally, crack here and we go here. This would be ideally 2 plays I want to see tomorrow. Is there a chance if we lose this and regain that we could go higher? Yeah, definitely. Don't know if there's any major news tomorrow. Oh. And used car prices, Dumpsty's favorite. So
Let's go.
yeah. Man, that's gonna be big. And there's some short-term auctions and a 30-year mortgage rate tomorrow. Yeah, and this might play a role actually, the 3 o'clock. Why do you guys think this might play a role?
What is that?
This is consumer credit change.
The debt.
Okay, yep.
It's play the debt, right? If people are maxed out on their credit cards, if you guys read the Federal Reserve report, most of them are. Right, so that'd be interesting to see.
Do you think jobless claims is going to matter so
No.
much?
I don't
Okay.
think so. I think they cook it enough, so it doesn't matter. But that's just my opinion. Right?
Or why?
Can you check in
Why-
queue real quick?
And I have one question. Why would market would like to move a day before NFP? Friday there is a big trigger to make the big move.
Friday there was a big trigger.
Yeah, NFP is on Friday.
Oh, you're saying on this Friday? I thought you're like, man,
Yeah.
here NFP is
Coming Friday.
yeah. I mean, they could definitely move it tomorrow as well. I mean, there's no guarantees when the market's gonna move. I would say they had a really good move today. I would say this was a pretty good day. I mean, if you think about range 45, 46 points on ES.
That was great.
I would
It's
say
a lot
that's
better
good
than the
move.
day before.
I mean, if you look up the ranges the days prior, this is a great range that they gave you. And what if this was a bearish reaction just to trap the shorts here at 44? And then Friday comes in and they quickly lose this and they pop higher. Maybe we can dance here all day tomorrow. I don't know when the move will happen, and I don't try to predict the moves. I react to the moves. My goal is not to say that this is going to work. I have a scenario. What if, and if it happens, I'm going to react this way. If this happens with volume break, I'm going to react and play it that way. I don't care,
Up or down.
I really don't care, right? I'm not married to ES or not even married. Like I play which one's going to pay me, right? If they hit a level, regain a level, look above and fail, or look below and fail, those are the things that I pay attention to. Like even here, right? They put in a lower low and look at the reversal that they had last time. Probably a lot of people lost money, and if you just combine the three pieces we covered of effort and result, this was giving you a little bit of a slowdown here, right? And it depends how you want to play it. Do you play the break of this candle here and your stop loss is here? Definitely you could do that, right? You could play many different ways, but you'll react, not predict which way it's going to go. If you start predicting, your linear regression on your growth chart and portfolio is also going to look like a predicting chart. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go, right? If I knew, I would probably sell all my assets and play it that way.
You'd be a millionaire.
You end up swinging? Did you end up swinging ES?
There'd be no more Discord.
Yeah.
You'd be in Turks and Caicos.
Did you end up swinging that ES?
Caicos anyways, but yeah.
Did you swing that ES after all at the end there?
Long on ES. That's why I was saying you can imagine who's long. That's what I was implying here.
Yeah.
I'm long him.
You wouldn't leave us if you were a millionaire, would you?
I'm not gonna answer that. 'cause I don't know if
Shorty,
you guys are
should
trying
we
to get
take
my
into
numbers or-
consideration of the contract change?
He's already there and he's still here.
Say it again.
Should we take into consideration of the contract change? I think it's
Is
on
that
Friday.
happening? Is it this Friday or next Friday?
This Friday. You can see the logo on the 18th, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know what the hell that was. I thought it was some kind of merge.
You
but
can
makes
click it.
sense.
If you click it, it says.
I would look at the volume probably. So this is, man, that's gonna be quick. Yeah, maybe we should look at the volumes on the contracts and see if they're picking up steam on the next one.
I think that from history, a lot of times the front month can roll. They're not going to go to the March. They're not going to start using March heavy probably till at least Monday. Even though it switches on our trading view on Thursday afternoon, it'll switch over. So Friday will be kind of that screwed up situation.
Yeah. I would just pay attention where we settle with this contract and then see what happens, because we still have some settlements on previous contracts that we haven't cleared, I believe. In the June, July, I'm not sure if that got cleared or not in terms of price revisiting, but yeah. Let's check volume tomorrow, maybe around 2 o'clock, to see if they're actually switching or what are they doing on the volume of the contract itself. Can't believe it already time to switch. I feel
Yeah,
like
this
I
whole
just
thing's
settled
going by
into the
fast.
price, man.
Yeah, 3 months.
I honestly feel like I just settled in and adjusted my charts based on the last one, but I guess time again.
All right.
All right, cool. On NQ, hopefully you guys, and then I'll check Google, God willing. I would say the levels are pretty much identical to what we have on ES, and we can quickly do this all over. So if you guys look, this is our area, and here's our POC. We can hide this. So this would be, and I think this one is a little bit longer. I think it's like 20 plus days now. Okay, and you guys know my rule. If we lose this first sig and we regain it, then I'm not bearish. There's no way I will be bearish. And we are approaching 2 sig, and the opportunity for them, you know, it's the simple concept of what do we look for when we're selling? What are they trying to do when they're selling?
Stop the selling.
Market's going down. What are we trying to shut off?
Shut up.
The selling.
Yeah, so now we're searching, hey, it's basically a market. Is anyone interested in buying this? And usually, typically, why we have 2 sigs is for the reason of finding that, right? And if you just look at this right now, let's say you grab it to this high. So you have the POC here. If you grab this here, just to look at this POC, look where we are. As we arrive this level here, it would be really, really interesting to see what they do. And I mean, you could look at this, but it's going to shift the POC to this level, which is first sig. So either we bounce here, lose it, regain. If we regain this zone level that we have here, this is something I would watch out on NQ. If we regain this, and especially if we crack 15, is it? Can't read that. 15,885. I mean, I would say just be careful shorting too much here above if we reclaim this nicely. If we wick above it here and then, go down, that's not valid, right? We need to go higher and then come back, and that will be a great long. But for right now, we came here and the auction is slowing down. Is there anything you guys are seeing that's concerning for bears?
Volume.
Volume is not checking out. Volume is not checking out. So it does not make sense right now. Tomorrow, I would say the open of tomorrow is going to be the most crucial open, I would say, for the remainder of this year. If the open stays bullish, we're going to run. And I wouldn't be shocked if they revisit above, on this one here, probably 16,115 here shortly, or even higher than this, right? Probably top of the range or even more. I think my next level was 16,337, if I remember, somewhere around here. It was right here, yeah, 37. So I wouldn't be shocked if they're able to reclaim this. We go there. Because market might get too short here. If you're not able to break this, the market becomes too short, and then they start getting out of their shorts. What does the locals have to do? Remember, when they're selling, what does the local do on this order here? Okay. Dirty wants to sell his shares. Who buys it here?
Local.
Then comes, let's say, KJ comes in. It's like, hey man, I got a lot more inventory I want to sell. Who buys it here?
Locals.
Yeah, they keep buying it. So if they have too much inventory here, right? As we're coming down here, what is local gonna try to do here?
Get rid of.
He's gonna try to sell it and buy it. And if people were too short here, those people that were short, what are they gonna have to do now?
Cover.
Who are they buying it from? Who has the inventory?
The local.
Local.
Locals.
You explode. You literally explode from here, right? And I would say the volume is, if you look at it, maybe on something like 2 hours, it might be a little bit better. Here on volume on buying is much better than the selling volume that you've seen so far. Right? They've actually intensified. Compare this box right here. Just, quick eye glance right here. Compare this box to the bars on green bars right here. You see the, scaling down. What do you see on these bars right here?
Scaling up.
Yeah, it's picking up. The volume is actually picking up on this, guys. So I don't know. Let's see how they play it out. I'm leaning more bullish tomorrow if they're able to hold this. The 2 sig 46.44 on ES, or if I'm sorry, 45.44 on ES. If they're able to hold that, I'll be interested to go long. We're still in the bracket, right? We have anywhere, right? We're just dancing here on the bottom. Reclaim of this. This is bullish. And then you can take a look at your singles, right, on RTH and see what is market profile telling you, right? So if you go here, there has to be some access on the bottom. So let's see, we're gonna change this bad boy to like few and then let it come back. What is that trick for you that you do? Still loading.
We have some single prints from Monday that are right at just above the September value area high, which is around the 721 to 19 area.
So yeah, we have definitely single prints here. A little bit of a shelf here. Let me just hide these candles a little bit. Oh man.
Yeah, we got single prints right now down to 783. Then we've got skinny belly pretty well. I guess not until after we got 108 points of skinny belly after the September value high.
Yeah, you're talking about below, right?
Yep, yep. Yeah. As soon as we break past that, yeah. We got 108 points down from there.
Yeah, below this, right? I
Mhm.
think it
Yep,
goes
yep.
right there. So yeah. I don't know. If I was them, I would not want to fill that in December. As a lot of people's bonuses would be, I think a lot of bankers would be fired. They don't fire their friends.
You think they might drop it down to the September value, scare people, and then rocket it up?
Remember, their goal is not to, right now, if they want to offload the inventory at higher prices, can they scare you too much?
I just figured, how do they make money?
If they have a lot more inventory that they bought, let's say, I don't know where NQ was by heart when we were at 4140. Right? Yeah, somewhere at 15. No, that's not it. I guess here, right? That makes sense. Is this? No, that's October. Wherever 4140 was, I'm on 15. Probably was this. Yeah, it was this.
In the middle, I believe.
Yeah. So, I mean, 2000 points, right? And if they're still trying to get rid of inventory, obviously something's happening, right? There's an accumulation or, distribution gonna occur. But there's a lot of selling right now. Volume picked up drastically between first half and second half here. This selling today that happened at the top is 15 minutes. That's pretty big. And then when you look at the daily, you see that, of course, there's a little bit of volume problem here, but they're picked up some volume here. And you see that they had major absorptions on daily here. The low is all the way. Let's see. I'm leaning more bullish. I know it sounds crazy on a day like this, but I'm leaning bullish here. So see what they do. And in terms of this, you have single prints on the daily as well. I just highlighted them. So you have access here. You have a little bit of a ledge here, 823. So reclaiming 830, things start to change up, right? And then you're gonna most likely hit this. You see this PDPOC matches the 885 perfectly. So that might be a level of interest for us. Definitely watch that. And then you see the value area highs all the way up top. We'll just add SVP for a moment.
The past 3 days, we've been moving our value areas up.
Yeah, so, and yeah, but if you reclaim this POC, which happens to be the first SIG, POC is right here, if you see it. So your lowest level right here, where you tried to sell off on a bearish volume anomaly.
You get the RTY on. Or
Sorry?
did you want to have, I said you had the RTY. I don't know if you wanted to have that on or.
Yeah, sure, we can change it. I think the POC is gonna be there, right, still. POC is still here, right, at 31. So if they're able to crack that, right, you see that there's a volume node, and I would say there's definitely single prints on this day as well, right? And we haven't revisited these at this level. So these are your single prints here. You have single prints here. The only thing that's bad and why they can't go lower is what? Well, let me make sure, because if this is, I keep switching in between. So they have single prints here during the session as well, major single prints. I mean, this goes all the way down, dude. So you can't be really bearish unless you crack this level here, 783. Once you crack 783, you potentially catch a decent bounce here, but I wouldn't be looking for longs below 873. Right? If they crack that, then we're probably going to auction all the way to the bottom of these. Okay. If we reclaim the first segment, you have 50, 60 points easy on NQ. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let me make
What's
sure.
your SIG at? 30?
30, 30.75. Yeah, good point on value areas. That's a really good notice. Value area high is shifting. The only thing is they pushed the POC down today from here. I'm pretty sure it was somewhere here at 43 to 880. So if they reclaim 880, guys, this is just gonna fly to 950 here. This is what, 70 points here? Between this and this, yeah, this is pretty good. If you see them running, this is a good long to go here higher to push. But this is a warning. I would say this is a bullish warning in my opinion. But let's see. We cracked this 830. I'm long. And if you guys look at your deltas today, did anyone take a peek on them? So yesterday, did anyone remember? I gave you guys this morning. Actually, I gave you a message. Did anyone catch it?
You mentioned about the 66 long, which is pretty good for the first test.
Yeah, and what about the delta chart I posted for you guys this morning?
Negative deltas.
I didn't see it.
I don't recall seeing it.
No? Did anyone else see it? Let me find it for you guys. I don't know how I have to scroll all the way up, man. I have to keep scrolling. Let me find it. 10:30.
At 3:55, I think.
Okay. Trying to find it, but man, I'm having a little trouble. I'll find it, and I'll find it on my phone much easier than I find it here, because this search on the desktop is a little bit different for me.
Oh, KJ posted. You can just click that and then it will jump you over there.
Yeah. This was one of them, right? This is them selling, right, at 455. There was some absorption that was happening, but there was another chart. I'll find it. I'll post it. There was a little bit of concern yesterday that, you know, they're looking a little bit bearish yesterday for this sell-off today. And obviously they executed that pretty well. Yep. So there's that, some large delta. Yeah, that's what I was posting. So there was large delta on the sell-off, 1.71 million, 22. But you see that they're slowing down. You know, the delta is not dumping. I'm sorry, reducing. Volumes coming down. So they're coming up to a key level on the delta as well. So now if they lose this level, it really opens up gates for a lot more blood. Not saying they won't do it, but if they crack this 883, I turn bearish to this level. And then if they lose this, this is, I would say, pretty good. 110 points below that. People are going to pile in on the short side. Okay. All right. Well, I'll be live tomorrow in the morning, and I'm going to look to see if I can, you know, I'm not going to push it, but I'm going to see if I can close the day rather quickly tomorrow, because kids are getting better. It's just that I think both of us are just beyond exhausted. I don't know if you guys have kids, but there's something definitely going on in schools everywhere. Pretty much my whole son's school, he's with 3 kids in the class right now. Like the whole class is pretty much pneumonia, lung cough, breathing issues. It's not called COVID this year, but it's called something else.
Yeah, my lady's got it.
Yeah, it is pretty brutal, actually. I mean, my wife's got it, my kids got it, 2 of them. One had it, but he got over it. Not truly over it, but his cough is there, but no fever. But it seems like everyone got it right now. I had a friend in Carolina. He reached out. He has 3 kids. He said they're all sick. And then, I don't know if you guys saw the news, but some Republicans, 6 senators, requested that we shut down or reduce number of flights from China to USA, and CDC is nowhere to be found right now.
What about when they catch lice?
I don't know about that one.
I had 2 girls, man, and in the school, everybody had lice, and then sometimes they had to stay home until they got rid of them. That was a pain in the ass.
Cuban, me and you cannot catch lice.
No, we cannot. Thank God for that.
I thought you had thick gray hair.
In your armpit. In your armpits.
Oh God.
Gross.
Yeah, and other places too. I would do not want to mention.
Hey, Cuban, go
That would suck.
armpits, bro.
That would suck.
On the wax.
You guys are funny.
Yeah, if
All right,
you
guys.
use oil.
Yeah.
I think somebody asked about Google.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I totally forgot. Let's take a look at Google. I thought Google went below 130. Oh.
Ooh, what is that?
This is the little supply that we were in. I was looking for short swings on Google here, but I never got it.
Yeah, because they just announced their AI today. That's why I was asking for you to look at Google. They announced it about 11 hours ago. It's called Gemini, and it's supposed to be able to solve equations that only like a couple people have solved and stuff. It's like 10 times better or 4 times better or something than ChatGPT.
Oh.
But to me, it's just claims right now. I haven't seen it in action or anything. It's just what they say on the YouTube and on their their social and stuff.
Yeah, I'll take a look at them, but they would have to auction above this for me to be interested in alongside. So they have to clear call it. Ideally, this little, they want to take above this 133. I wouldn't be interested in the long. They can come up with a lot of stuff, and it's just weird enough that they're coming up with all this cool stuff at the top.
Yeah, what I figured is it's more of a like sell the news thing. Like they just
Oh, yeah.
announced it
Buy
and
the
now
news.
they're ready to dump. So I wondered if it was a good short, but
I was actually thinking to short this. I missed it. I do like Amazon short, like a lot. Amazon looks really
juicy. Yeah.
Amazon looks like it can go to 130 here within a few weeks. So I was looking at Amazon to potentially short that. So, and the reason why, let me show you guys Amazon here. I'm trying to bring my chart. Yeah. By the time I move these screens. Okay, so here's your Amazon on the clouds, right? And Amazon is one of the stocks that they all move well on clouds, but you're at the monthly top and a weekly top. You completed, completely, you're done with the monthly cycle here. You started here, you just finished the cycle up here. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you should be going back to here, which would be the weekly bottom and the monthly mid. So there's a high chance that this is going to play out here within the next 3 to 4 months. Right, and then I'll look at Google since you guys asked.
So it should be like a way long term option, not something that's like
typically look for 3 to 4 months. When I'm playing
Okay.
monthly cycles, I need a little bit like 4 months, 3-4 months. And I mean, the way we've been moving higher, just remember, your move higher probably didn't leave a whole lot of support. And I would say this support that you have here is going to match this weekly bottom. So which is everything's pointing towards 121 on Google here and 112 below. And then ultimately at 90, I would buy shares of Google. Again, that should be my fill. I would re-get that. This one here, I mean, I don't know if anyone's interested in this, but this is, let me just change this. One of them. I will load the boat on, when I say that, I truly mean it. I will buy a lot of Pfizer if they're able to come to 26.41.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I'm gonna add there. I've added a 31. I've added a little bit today. I'm gonna add quite a bit more at 26.41. And remember, last time when this happened, we got a new virus. And I don't know. I mean, just judging by my own family and my friends, seems like everybody's sick. So, and just really coincidence that Pfizer failed a test on some weight-losing pill. Right in the midst of everybody getting sick, kids blowing up with pneumonia, just a pure coincidence to sell them off, and then a virus comes in. Yeah. So this one here is also accumulating. Look at this accumulation that they had. I'm on daily. Look at this here. I mean, they're dancing here. They peaked above the monthly. If they're able to regain this right here, and do this is gonna go rather quickly like that. So, and on Saturday we're gonna do a stock scan again, see if there's anything unusual that we need to spot, because there's stuff moving and rebalancing towards the year end, and I want to see if there's anything worth catching, like the wolf one that we had, a few other ones. Okay. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you guys had a good session, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Shorty.
Thank you, Shorty. Good night. Hope everybody feels better.
Thanks, Shorty.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.